how many miles I've been losing from close to a 100% charge. And as you can see, I did one reading at 150 miles where I had driven 85 miles, and it appeared that I was at an 11-mile deficit there. And now that I have when I started this video, I was at 140 miles. Just to clarify, even though over there it says that's the projected range, technically this range, bottom left-hand corner, this is your rated range. Sorry, spaced out there. So that's your rated range in the bottom left-hand corner. This is your projected range. And remember what I said about rated versus ideal. Rated is the way to go. Ideal is exactly what it's called. I mean, it's ideal, and you just don't want to ever use that setting, ever. So anyway, after driving the 92 miles, it looks like I am now at a 14-mile deficit here from the start of the charge, which is not too bad. That means 14 miles of energy was used to run these wipers and, you know, of course the MCU, the climate control, you name it. Headlights, of course. So it's pretty accurate. And like I said, in this climate is where it really shines. When you're somewhere around when you're in the 70s, as far in Fahrenheit with the climate, it's just pretty accurate. But once you drop below, as I've said in the past, once you drop below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll start to take a range hit. That's pretty obvious. And when you climb above, I would say 98 degrees Fahrenheit, then you also take a bit of a range hit. It's not as significant though as when you drop below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and plug up, because of all the reasons that I've told you in the past in my videos, because you always need to be charging. But on this charge, which I started out with a range of 246 miles, which I believe translates to about 97 or 98%. Didn't check it for sure, but if I had to bet on that, I would go with 98%. So a 98% charge, 246 miles of range, at 71,529 miles. I have driven 33 kilowatts, 94.4 miles. Okay, and the mileage, my rated range is 135 miles. My projected range is 98 miles. It is 72 degrees Fahrenheit. So with all that, it looks like over time, over the past 71,000 miles, the range is really, it really hasn't changed all that much. Like over the past, I'd say 30,000 miles. I mean, I don't see a huge difference. That first 30,000 miles of driving, like everything pretty much stayed the same. My 100% dropped from 260 miles of range to 255 or something like that. Yeah, about 255. That happened within the 30,000 miles, but for a long time there, it held strong to the to the 257, which was promised initially, and as of today at 71,000 miles, the last time I charged all the way up to 100%, which was right around 70,000 miles, I went to 100% and it gave me a reading of 251. I had 251. I have yet to get back to 251 since crossing the 70,000 mile mark, because I just haven't had time. I just don't want to wait. So, but 250 is easy to come by. So that's why I'm just saying 250 is my 100% now. So in 71,000 miles, my 100% has dropped from 260 to 250. I'm just going to go with that. Possibly 251 still, but I think it's 250. Still really good when I compare it to some of the other guys out there who have given me their statistics and everything, and it is what it is. I mean, it'd be great if it were a larger battery, but this was the largest battery available when I ordered, so can't really complain about that. Another thing that I want to mention really quick, as you can see, I've got the AirPods in, which has made a huge difference in the recording. I know I look silly with these things in my ear. I just picked these up yesterday, actually, so I'm really impressed with them. And I've noticed that when I'm listening back to the video that I'm doing when I do film with the iPhone, which I would prefer to film with my Sony WX500, but I'm working on some things with that. So anyway, when I film with this, it sounds so much better. It picks up everything, and here's the point I'm making. This is why I'm announcing it on, or I'm talking about that here on this channel, the Strictly Tesla. When I used the other Bluetooth headset, which was an LG BT730, I think it is. But anyway, I'd had that thing for several years, and it was starting to give me some issues, so it was time to upgrade. But when I would get in the car and I'd have that, sometimes there'd be a little bit of a battle with the Tesla. Like if I would go to make the call, the iPhone would come up and it would give me a list of the things. Well, these AirPods totally take over, and in a good way they do. There's no conflict between the Tesla MCU and the Apple AirPods. It's just like everything just works. I highly recommend them. If you have been sitting on the fence, you're like wondering, oh, should I get these things? Get them. They're great. I haven't been to the gym with them yet, but I'm really looking forward to my next visit to the gym and using these things and not having the BT, the LG Bluetooth thing around my neck. It was just a pain. But I can't recommend them enough. If you are interested in them, I've got a link below to where I got them. I bought a set for my wife at the Apple store, and then I got these through Amazon, and I saved a little bit of money, which enough to where you could go and buy a pizza or a couple slices of really good pizza or whatever. But I think they're totally worth it, and that's it. I just wanted to say that. And so from now on, if you see me filming from the iPhone or whenever I'm recording with it, I'm going to be using these things. I think they're just great.